What a game. What a game for the fine folks of Philadelphia that came out to Xfinity Mobile Arena for the Saturday matinee game. And if you made the trek down from Long Island, enjoy that train ride back up. Have fun watching the Jets tomorrow or whatever. This is the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame, intermission, and postgame show. If we're talking in the second intermission about speaking things into existence, you said that you mentioned a Bundy. Dvorak hadn't really done anything to justify the Flyers bringing him here, and then immediately scores. And then later on in that same intermission, I asked you about Trevor Zegras, and you said, well, I'd like to see him score more. And can I interest you in 2 third-period goals in a shootout goal?
Yeah, absolutely. We really did a hell of a job speaking things into existence tonight. We really did.
I think we found the formula. It's just dump on everyone on the team until they finally get it going.
Until they get it going, until it all happens. That was just that was a heck of an effort by them in the third period. Got to give them a lot of credit. They really put a lot of pressure on the Islanders in the third period. Overtime was a little wonky. It went back and forth. There were some great chances. Both goalies made big saves during the overtime. And then it gets to the shootout, and it's a coin flip. I mean, Zegras 62% in his career coming in as in the shootout. He scores, but then the Islanders answer right back, and then it was Matvei Mishkov getting the game winner in the shootout, and then Sam Ersson stops Anthony Duclair on the final opportunity, and the Flyers come out of here with a good 4-3 win. Look, this game was in my mind, Andrew, was a matchup of 2 very evenly matched teams. It was very spirited. This was not one of those games that was a slog, like you remember the Minnesota game last week?
Yes, I do.
Right, where it was just kind of like, all right, this game is just dragging. Like, this game had some juice to it all the way throughout.
The Islanders fans brought it today.
They did, and the Fly and both teams. I thought both teams played pretty well overall. I thought it was a pretty good and entertaining hockey game here at the X.
Yeah, the first game of the season for the Flyers that went to a shootout, right? So they're 1-0 in that regard.
Yep.
What was I going to say? I mean, I think the Islanders, you can tell, I think they're a solid team. You got to remember that team is loaded with veteran players that have well-established good players for a long time in this league. They're pretty reliable moving the puck. Not a lot of bad turnovers from them. So for the Flyers to get 2 points out of this, I think is pretty impressive. I think we have to give Sam Ersson his due diligence, though. We've certainly spoke negatively a number of times on this program. He had a rough beginning to the season. He needed this game, and going into overtime, I was thinking to myself, what letter grade would I give Ersson? At the beginning of overtime, I had him at B-. I think he had earned that. After the stop on that 2-on-1 in overtime, I bumped him up to a B. After the shootout, I think I have to either give him a B+ or an A- today. He really, really battled back, and after that lousy first period where he was only 2 out of 3, the Islanders had that shorthanded goal, which feels like days ago.
Yeah, no. So it's funny, we talk about, and it was still, we said earlier in the program, like that's a goal that you have to, you want your goalie to make a save. That first period goal that he lets up. Okay,
yeah,
that's that goal at every game. It's like, damn, Sammy, you got to make that stop. And he seems to have one of those a game. Fortunately, today for him, it was the first goal and not later in the game, right? So he has that, still has that goal, but it came so early today that it allowed him to kind of get back into the game. And once they started putting shots on him in the second period, he was pretty locked in.
He was, yeah.
And I know they get 2 more goals. One was kind of a unfortunate deflection, yeah, and then the other goal,
the referee goal,
yeah, exactly. So like those 2, you're not putting on Ersson, and so he really played well, and I really was impressed by him in overtime and the shootout. I thought he did a heck of a job.
Yeah, he was good. So I don't, let me pull up the box score here real fast because I want to make sure that I get this exactly right. Where am I? So Scott Mayfield in total. 19 minutes and 38 seconds of ice time.
Okay.
I think the other 31 minutes he was in the penalty box. I actually don't think he was ever on the bench in this game.
That's funny.
So if for the people that were watching at home, maybe you can help us out in the comments, because I didn't see the exact genesis of of this entire skirmish that happened in the third period. Wild stuff taking place. First of all, I'll give Mayfield credit. He's got guts because Hathaway bashed his face in the first period, and then he went up and got in Hathaway's face again, even after all that. Then he had a little skirmish with Juleson, and then Grabenkin was the angriest I've seen a Flyers player so far this season. He was trying to go after Schaefer, and then the icing on top of all that was Abel's slamming McLean down to the ice. That was a wild turn of events, and I think it actually, I think the Islanders scored shortly thereafter.
Yes.
But you could tell that the momentum, even after that Islanders goal, was starting to shift, and then the Flyers immediately tie it on Zegras' second goal of the period on the power play. I'm happy that Brink got a secondary assist for that because he absolutely earned it. He created that entire thing, got it right to the net, and then
the great play by him there is it looks like he's like kind of going back to the point, and he does something that they teach youth players to do. He skated the circle, right? So he's coming up the wall, and then all of a sudden he kind of just turns at the in the right circle there and comes back toward the net. I think it surprised the Islanders. He gets off a shot and follows his own rebound, gets a second shot, and then Zegras punches it in through the scrum, right? So I think it was a really, really fine effort by Bobby Brink, who maybe he's not getting credit. I don't think he got a star in the game. Did he get a star? I didn't hear what the stars were.
I didn't say.
But in my mind, I know you obviously got to give it to Zegras because of the 3-point game, and I think Dvorak had a good game as well. I don't know who got the stars, but in my mind, Bobby Brink deserved one today. I thought that he had one heck of a game, even on plays and shifts when the Flyers did not score. I think that he had a real good chunk of this game that he had control of.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it second intermission, but the Forster Brink Cates line, they've been bringing it every game, so credit to them.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there's anyone else that we should get. I mean, people in the comments are saying Konechny didn't have a great game. He's had a little bit of a rough.
So it's interesting. So interestingly, I don't think Konechny had a bad game per se. The only play that I thought was a bad play by Konechny, and he kind of technically got punished for it. It was one shift, but in the overtime, he had that a turnover that should have led to a goal, but the Islanders were not for Ersson making that sliding glove save. And then the next shift out with Owen Tippett, he wasn't part of it. And they put Mishkov out.
Yeah.
Now, Mishkov, I don't think was going to take a shift in that shootout until that bad play by Konechny. And then they put Mishkov out there. And it was the only shift Mishkov took in overtime.
Kind of an ill-timed change.
Yes, and he had a bad change. It almost created another opportunity for the Islanders, which was not a great overtime shift for Mishkov either. But he gets it back with the shootout goal. So you can say, okay, good on you, Matt Vey. You got the game winner in the shootout.
I think he needed it. I think he needed it. It's going to, I would assume, help his psyche a little bit as he progresses through the season and hopefully gets himself back into a little bit more of a game shape.